What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Saved by the Code, where I discuss technologies rooted in computer code with the potential to save us from the corrupt fiat money regime. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It really does help me out. My name's Perry, and let's get going. Got all sorts of exciting stuff, as usual. We got the BlackRock, we got Bitcoin mining stuff, we got all sorts of juice. All sorts of juice for ya, as usual. What else would you expect? So, gonna start off here. Biggest story in not just crypto, but a lot of places. This is the whole BlackRock ETF, traditional finance, getting into cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in particular. And they've just totally changed their stance in recent times. Oh, crypto's the greatest thing ever now. I mean, they've been saying how terrible and horrible it is and how far you should stay away from it. You shouldn't touch it with a mile-long stick. But now, oh, it's cool, it's great, it's awesome. We want to hold it for you. And, you know, I tend to believe that was just so that they could accumulate and push prices down and keep prices suppressed over the years. You know, and I guess they just can't hold it back any longer. So they're just like, yep, all right, it's cool now. Come on in. The water's great. So yeah, we got all sorts of ETF filings going on. Banks wanting to custody your crypto. We got a chart here. You know, like I said, I mean, the biggest news right now is the whole BlackRock ETF filing here. I mean, they have $9 trillion in assets under management. That's so much money. 9 trillion. That's 9,000 billion. That's 9 million. Oh, it's so much money. It's silly. But yeah, so this chart just kind of looks at how different traditional financial players are looking to get involved with cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Got the ETF from BlackRock. We got Fidelity doing the Bitcoin and Ether trading and custody, full stack crypto wealth management solutions. We got JP Morgan tokenized US dollar and euro transfers via JP Morgan coin. What a joke that is. If anyone's using JP Morgan coin, you really need to question your life. Stay as far away from that as possible. Morgan Stanley says access to 3 Bitcoin funds. I don't even know what that means, but hey, it's got Bitcoin right there. Goldman Sachs, OTC, crypto trading, BNY Mellon, hold transfer, Bitcoin and Ether. Invesco, Bitcoin ETF in Europe, filed for Bitcoin ETF in US. Bank of America, Bitcoin futures trading. The total assets under management amongst all of these players is 27.29 trillion dollars. 27,294 billion dollars. Oh, that's just too much money. It's silly. So yeah, they want a piece at a Bitcoin pie, and it's inevitable that this was going to happen. It's inevitable, Mr. Anderson. Good old Matrix quote there. That this was going to happen. And some may view it as a bad thing, as their attempt to control the industry. And sure, I'm sure that is a motivation. I'm sure that is. However, it is a net positive. The legitimizing of the cryptocurrency space, of Bitcoin as an asset class, is a huge barrier for people. They think it's still this like underground internet drug money that only criminals use. And now in their eyes, with all this traditional financial player involvement, it will be legitimized. And this is, I think, the only barrier in the way of people that are hesitant to buy Bitcoin. They think it's this illegitimate thing, underground drug money, and the legitimization of it by this move by traditional financial players, I think, is the only barrier. And providing these instruments to people that were previously hesitant is going to mean a lot of money that is yet to enter the market will flow in, and that means number go up a lot. I believe this is the catalyst for Bitcoin to cross the $100,000 mark, and it's a great thing. It is. And sure, there's definitely nefarious things, motivations, I'm sure, going on, as always. However, this is good. It was inevitable that it was going to happen. And especially, I mean, the timing of it is just really crazy with the whole SEC suing everybody and their mother. And then all of a sudden, oh, BlackRock wants to file an ETF. Here's the twist here, with Coinbase as their custodian, which Coinbase right now is currently being sued by the SEC for securities violations. Just total nonsense crap. And I mean, that's just wild. Like, what? SEC literally just filed a lawsuit against Coinbase, and then a couple days later, BlackRock's, yeah, we want an ETF, a Bitcoin ETF, as Coinbase, with Coinbase as our custodian to hold the Bitcoin for us. What is that? That is just so... The clown world, I mean, it makes total perfect logical sense in the clown world. What am I saying? I forgot that in the clown world, up is down, down is up, 2 + 2 equals 69, and... but yeah, so I guess that does make total perfect logical sense in the clown world. I keep forgetting. Like, I need to think in clown world terms. You know, that makes perfect logical sense in the clown world. So what am I saying? That's just, oh yeah, yeah, of course. SEC sues Coinbase. BlackRock wants Coinbase as their custodian 2 days later for a Bitcoin ETF. Oh yeah, perfect. And we have seen a pretty decent price increase for Bitcoin in the last couple of days. It's kind of stopped, and who knows? I mean, but I think there's just upside potential from here. I mean, it's the number of things that are happening right now in favor of Bitcoin is incredible. I mean, the mining industry expanding at ridiculous rates, this traditional financial player involvement. I mean, Bitcoin is freaking hot, and it's only going to get hotter from here. Like I said, I mean, I think this is the catalyst for Bitcoin to go above 100,000, and if not more, because this is what needed to happen in the eyes of people that were hesitant. It needed to be legitimized, not just normal retail investors with just a few $1,000s to throw in or whatever, but in the eyes of institutions, like big companies, institutions. There's just so much money that hasn't entered this market because of the regulatory concerns, as well as the it not being a legitimate asset class in their eyes. And so, I mean, this is just, it's good, very good. And, you know, all this regulatory crap, I think it'll blow over. If not, we'll actually get some regulatory clarity in the US. It's been so insane how there's just nothing. We base our regulations off of laws from the 1930s. Literally, I'm not even exaggerating. It's such a joke. But I forgot. In the clown world, that makes sense. So what am I saying? Laws from the 1930s to regulate cryptocurrencies that were invented in 2008. Well, Bitcoin first came out in 2008. Yeah, what am I saying? That makes total perfect sense in the clown world. I'm just what's wrong with me? Yeah, so big money getting in, folks. This is just the beginning. It's going to get crazy, and there's just so many other firms applying for a Bitcoin ETF. Invesco, BlackRock, there's a bunch of other ones like Valkyrie or something. I mean, everyone wants that ETF. And when that gets approved, it's going to be look out above, you know, because Bitcoin, boom, going to the moon there, baby. So this is good stuff, you know. I'm always, saying how much I hate banks and all that, and these big traditional financial firms, but I'm realistic. It was inevitable that this was going to happen, and it's a good thing. If you can't beat them, join them, So, all right, let's go. Love you, BlackRock. Love Fidelity. Yeah, big supporter. All right, moving on here. Got to keep this moving. So, the app Damus, however you want to pronounce that, it's backed by Jack Dorsey, and it's a decentralized social media app with Bitcoin tipping as a feature. So you can just tip people through the Lightning Network. You can tip them like a cent, fractions of a cent, however much you want. And Apple's like, no, that's not allowed. We're going to remove you. And, of course, as usual, just getting wrecked for no reason. And Apple's just insane. Like, they charge a 30% fee for in-app purchases. So they take 30% from the app that the person is downloading from the company, which is so absurd. 30%, because they know that they're in charge. They're the king. They can't. Where are you going to release your app? On the freaking Nintendo App Store? Like, I mean, sure, probably a big app store, but still, come on. Apple is the king. And it's because of this tipping feature, apparently. And in accordance with the guy, it's a Damus tipping feature allows users to trade Bitcoin. Well, trade, it's tipping. You just tip someone without involvement from other apps, a function that drew pushback from Apple, which takes a 30% fee for in-app purchases, and said tips connected to digital content have to use in-app purchase in accordance with its guidelines. Apparently they violated it or something. The developers saying that Apple is based on abused and misapplied, arguing that no digital content is locked when users are tipped. The tipping feature could once be used through posts and users' profiles. Yeah, so apparently Apple wants to take down this decentralized social media app, which has gained many users, from 10,000 to 160,000 people after this Bitcoin tipping was implemented. And it's growing a lot. It's a pretty cool app. I'm on there. I need to post more. I need to post more on social media in general. Yeah, so Apple doesn't like it. We don't want it. As if they're not rich enough. I mean, their stock's been going nuts lately, I've seen, apparently. And I mean, like, come on. Just like, why can't you just let us go? Let us have some fun. They just gotta always, no, you're not allowed in our store. It's just typical BS from these large companies and corporations that just, are little children stamping their feet. There's Jack Dorsey. He loves Bitcoin. He's obsessed with it. He showers with it. He freaking eats it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He does lines of Bitcoin. He's a Bitcoin addict. And he's cool. He's the inventor of Twitter. And now he's involved. He's just always been doing his Bitcoin stuff. So, yeah, you go, Jackie D. He's says here, Dorsey backs the app and has defended it against Apple multiple times, arguing that Apple has a misunderstanding of the tip feature. So this could be getting banned. Thanks, Apple. Appreciate ya. Go home, you're drunk. All right, on to some Bitcoin mining stuff. The Bitcoin mining industry is just chugging so hard. It shows no signs of stopping, and it's just expanding, getting larger and larger, more centralized. So much money's flowing in, and I just love it. I love seeing these massive operations popping up. The New York Times, people are probably like, oh my God, energy, we're all gonna die. They're probably freaking out. I just love seeing stories like this. It just goes to show you these Bitcoin mining operations are just like giving them the finger. Because these articles that they put out saying that Bitcoin mining is destroying the planet. It's the only thing in the world. We're all going to burn alive because of Bitcoin mining. They show these edited pictures of Bitcoin mining farms with like smog on them and smokestacks and, Bitcoin mining. No mention of banks or gold, how much energy they use, Christmas lights or fridge. I say it's like every single episode, but it's just so ridiculous. But this story, Bitcoin mining firm Riot secures 33,000 new mining rigs for $162 million. That's a massive expansion. That is so many mining rigs. That's huge. It says here, Riot Platforms, one of the largest Bitcoin mining companies in the world, is set to boost its hash rate capacity to new heights after purchasing 33,280 mining rigs from MicroBT, a leading manufacturer of the machines. Yeah, $162 million purchase, $163 million. That's so big. Yourselves, they aren't scheduled for delivery till December 2023, won't be deployed until the first quarter of 2024. I mean, this is happening all over the place. Like, so many mining operations are expanding and making these large purchases. And in preparation for the halving that's coming up. So the Bitcoin halving it's about 10 months away. And that is the reward for mining Bitcoin will be cut in half. And this happens every 4 years. The last one was in May of 2020. The next one will be projected to be in April 2024. And a lot of these mining operations are expanding because of this halving that's coming up. Quote, Riot is excited to announce our first order of Bitcoin miners for our Corsicana facility. That's in Texas. They're expanding into Texas. They are amongst the most powerful and efficient miners ever made for Bitcoin mining. They have a max hash rate of 230 terahashes per second. That's insane. I mean, I think the best ones right now are 140 terahashes per second. These are 230 terahashes. And that is just a measurement as to how powerful the machines are. How many, in this measurement, when I say 230 terahashes per second, that's how many number guesses they can do per second. So the more you can do, the more the higher chances you have of mining a Bitcoin block, because that's how Bitcoin mining works. These machines are literally just guessing numbers, competing with each other all around the world. So the more machines you have, the more numbers you can guess a second, the greater chance you have of mining a Bitcoin block and getting that sweet, sweet bitty coin reward. So 230 terahashes per second, that is crazy. Like that's like a 70% better increase than so a terahash is a trillion hashes. So 230 trillion hashes per second. That's what these computers can do. That is so insanely mind-boggling. So they're literally guessing 230 trillion possibilities a second. That's so mind-boggling. So it says a hash is an attempt to answer the complex mathematical problems miners must solve to construct a new Bitcoin block. So, they are expanding from their hash rate capacity currently. Their entire operation is 7.6 exahashes per second. And they're expanding to 220 exahashes. An exahash is a quadrillion. So they're looking to expand to 20 quadrillion hashes per second for their entire operation, which is just, that's so massive. The whole Bitcoin network's hash rate is 398 exahashes a second. That's just so ridiculously massive. 398 quadrillion hashes in every second. So they're expanding in preparation for the halving. It says here, next year's point, further enhance our already strong fleet efficiency in advance of the upcoming Bitcoin halving. They're trying to be as prepared for the halving as possible, so they need to have the most machines as possible because they need to survive. This halving cuts their revenue in half. However, it makes Bitcoin very scarce. So it makes these miners, look what's happening. They're expanding. They want the network to be more decentralized. They need to solidify themselves and prepare themselves for this halving. And the halving is one of the greatest features of Bitcoin. And I mean, look what happens. Like these operations are like, we need more miners. We need to prepare for this massive investment coming in, more decentralization. Awesome to see. This article, how miners are preparing for the halving. And yeah, like I mentioned, there's just so many operations that are expanding. And so, I mean, you might be asking yourself, I mean, yeah, Bitcoin's price does need to increase with these halving events. And it has, like clockwork, like every 4 years. Right now, I think it's like Bitcoin's price needs to be at least $12,000 to break even. Yeah, it says the average cost to mine a Bitcoin is around $12,000 per Bitcoin. So, yeah, that would be, and so luckily Bitcoin's price is currently at around $30,000. And I have a chart here that goes over how much money each of these operations is raking in. And I mean, the profit margins are fantastic. I mean, in Q1 2023, the Bitcoin mining margin, the one I was just talking about, Riot, they see a 58% margin in Q1 2023. Cost them $13,000, or yeah, 12 about direct cash cost per Bitcoin. Cost them $9,400 to mine a Bitcoin. So, you know, if you can get that as low as possible, you're going to be making, that's the average is 12,000. But their cost is 9,400, which is one of the lowest on this chart. And revenue per Bitcoin, 22,706. They've mined 2,115 Bitcoin. That is sweet. But I mean, these operations are massive. The overhead's huge. The electricity costs, the setting up the infrastructure, all that. Tons of overhead. But man, 58% margin there, gross margin percent. That's pretty dang sweet. That's not even the number one. The number one is 63%. TeraWolf mining operation. They operate on nuclear energy, and which is so cool. Nuclear powered Bitcoin mining. But yeah, they have the highest margin. Their cost of mining a Bitcoin is $8,429. Revenue per Bitcoin, 23 grand. That is sweet. And yeah, I mean, these numbers just, that's why there's so much investment going into this. I mean, where are you going to see that? That's a huge, that's massive. 63%. I mean, like I said, the overhead's huge. However, that's sweet. What a great business to get into. The lowest one is 17%. They're struggling for whatever reason. Who knows? There's probably so many crazy things. Iris Energy. And then Iris Energy, their margin 47%. They operate on entire renewable energy. Just all renewable energy source. And, New York Times never mentions any of that. Oh, whoops, we forgot to mention the Iris Energy that uses just renewable energy to mine Bitcoin. Oops, forgot that little detail. But, this one, oh gosh. Bitcoin mining's horrible. Yeah, so a lot of these operations preparing for the halving. Amazing to see. Stronghold Digital. Hey, I worked for that Bitcoin mine. They effed up though. Not there anymore. But yeah, they were a pretty big operation. They had 13,000 miners. That's massive. They were mining like 4 Bitcoin a day. It's pretty dang good. But their just cost of energy, the cost of the machines, they just weren't doing it right. They weren't the most efficient, and some contract broke and we got kicked out. This article here, Bitcoin mining is the highest user of sustainable energy. So yeah, Bitcoin mining is the number one consumer of renewable energy out of any industry in the entire world. Like, New York Times article forgot to mention that too. Whoops, our bad. We didn't think that was that, important of a detail or anything. But check out this picture of smog over this Bitcoin mine. Yeah, Bitcoin mining has the highest increase in sustainable energy mix. According to the data comparing Bitcoin mining to other industries, the process to extract top cryptocurrency, the highest user of sustainable energy, 52.6%. And the next highest use was the banking sector. Hey, all right, bankers. I'll give you one there. They're the next one. The gold industry is fourth. Banking sector is second. Bitcoin is at 52%. Banking is 39%. That's significant. They're way ahead. So yeah, I mean, these people say that Bitcoin uses all this energy and it's the worst thing ever. They're literal, just intellectual, dishonest, fiat money regime puppets, whatever you want to call them, criminals that just want to destroy this beautiful thing. The highest increase in sustainable energy mix, plus 38% from July 2019 to June 2023. Yeah, it's a massive focus in the industry, more so than any other industry, as you can see. And it's the data's all there. It's just these news outlets are pushing all this crap, just all the bad things about Bitcoin mining. It's not perfect. It isn't. Nothing's perfect. Welcome to Earth. You know? Yeah, there are some Bitcoin mines that use just electricity from fossil fuel sources. However, they will naturally move towards renewable energy sources because of the lower cost of energy. And it pushes forward the renewable energy sector as well. It's highly encouraged and you get cheaper energy. It's just the cheaper you can get your energy in Bitcoin mining, the way better off that you'll be. And like I said, the data is all there. It's just these news outlets push this crap. They peddle this crap that just isn't true. And unfortunately, a lot of people will believe it because no one does any research on anything. They just read it. Oh, New York Times said this. And, like I say, every episode, Wanda with her New York Times degree, Facebook degree, all those amazing degrees. Reddit. The headline, Bitcoin is burning the earth alive. She's going to go tell Cindy down the street and Samantha. And, they're all going to drink their tea and eat their crumpets and spread lies. Because New York Times said it. Yep, it's truth. That's gospel. No more research. Nope. That's it. That's the truth. All right, next story here. Apparently the correlation between Bitcoin and the NASDAQ has hit a 3-year low. So Bitcoin is breaking that correlation. And really great. That's another thing that I think is really important to happen. Is it has been following like the NASDAQ very closely for the past couple of years. I mean, for a lot of its history, just it'll go up when stocks go up, it goes down when stocks go down. It's just but apparently it's the lowest point in 3 years, which is great to see. It's just becoming its own independent asset class, and it's great to see. Love it. Beautiful stuff. There's something in this article I wanted to explicitly state. Oh yeah, throughout June, the correlation between Bitcoin and the NASDAQ 100 stands at a mere 3%, a stark contrast to the average correlation of 60% observed in 2022. So that's huge. Well, that was just throughout June. This is just recently, but hopefully it continues, because screw the NASDAQ. This is all because of this Bitcoin ETF news, and that's only just happening in the Bitcoin world. So, but I think this can be the catalyst as well to see Bitcoin break away as its own asset class and not be so closely correlated to stocks and the NASDAQ. Cool. Good to see. I'm just going to go over this briefly. MiCA, Markets in Crypto Assets, is Europe's regulatory framework for cryptocurrency. Europe is light years ahead of the US when it comes to regulation in cryptocurrency. We have a complete lack of any regulation in the United States. Yet Europe is releasing official cryptocurrency regulations, and they're seeing an influx of venture capital, of companies setting up their crypto companies because they're more welcoming. It's actually friendly towards cryptocurrency. Explain that they will be regulated based on the services they provide rather than the underlying asset class. So it's saying here, MiCA, the regulations in Europe for crypto, does not differentiate between different cryptocurrencies and treats them all equally. It's not the first regulatory framework in the world. It's the first in Europe. And Europe is just light years ahead. US is still sitting over here we got the Howey test from 1930, and that's our regulations. It's literally, that's it. That's like the extent of regulation in the United States. And then the SEC just comes after you and sues you for not following these laws from the 1930s. It's such a joke. But in the clown world, that makes sense. So what am I saying? I'm just a big dummy. Clown world, I forgot. Makes total sense to have laws from the 1930s. Duh. I mean, what? I'm so dumb. But yeah, so Europe has actual clear regulatory framework. And I don't think these actually go into effect for like a year, which is so annoying. Like, I always hate that. Like, it's like, oh, we got this law, this new great law, but it won't go in effect for like 10 years. It's like, why can't it just happen tomorrow? Like, what's this? Yeah, it'll be in effect end of 2024. Why? There's no reason. It's just there's so many ridiculous inefficiencies in every system that we have today. Yeah, so cool. Regulation in Europe, friendly towards crypto, light years ahead of US. Thanks. This is awesome. MicroBT brings ASIC manufacturing to America in partnership with Riot Platforms. ASICs it stands for Application Specific Integrated Circuit. It's the Bitcoin miners. They're called ASICs. And they're called ASICs because they're literally only meant to mine Bitcoin. Because before ASICs, you could use graphics cards, which are just like general purpose graphics cards. They weren't specifically intended for Bitcoin mining. Now, Bitcoin miners use ASICs, which are much more powerful, more efficient. They're only meant to mine Bitcoin. And right now, there's no ASIC manufacturing in America. It's all overseas in Asia and China, whatever. And it takes a long time to get orders in. But they're bringing this to the US now, which is huge. I mean, if you can manufacture these in the United States, they'll be able to be used much more quickly, probably manufactured better, and awesome to see. And this is by Riot, one of the largest Bitcoin miners in the world, and they're doing so much for Bitcoin. It's amazing. And yeah, apparently they are bringing the production of Bitcoin miners to the United States. For those concerned about, quote, our energy consumption, these machines will be more efficient than ever. For those who say Bitcoin mining data centers do not actually create jobs, we are helping to create hundreds of jobs. Apparently they're going to be manufacturing these in Pennsylvania. I might try to get a job there when that pops up. So, expected release. Yeah, wow. So cool to see. This needed to happen. We can't just rely on China for our Bitcoin miners. We need them to be here in the United States. And that's huge. This is massive. It really is a major milestone, is what it says here, within the Bitcoin mining industry. Having that brought to the United States is huge. Next here, what is this story? Oh yeah, that $1 million bet is just, yeah, it was just a public PR move. But I mean, it brought a lot of attention to Bitcoin. It got people talking about the banking crisis, how much money they're printing. You know, it was a net good. I mean, who cares what his motives were? You know, the guy paid up just $1 million. I mean, oh my gosh. Could have probably done a little something different with that, but hey, I mean, whatever. If you're that rich, yeah, whatever, $1 million. Like, just to prove that they're printing trillions, he said. That was like the whole point of the bet that ended early. He said that Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million in 90 days. He ended it early, and he just paid the guy $1 million and was like, I did that to tell you that they're printing trillions. And it did get a lot of people's attention. Great, good way to do it, I guess. You know, respect. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, he did it. Marketing move just to get some attention on himself. And this, who cares? Let him have it. Who cares? He's promoting Bitcoin. And he's trashing banks. And hey, I'm all for that. you know. And it's probably true what he's saying about all this craziness going on. They're printing trillions of dollars, devaluing our currency. I mean, inflation is like the bane of human existence. It enslaves everyone. It really does. It affects everything negatively except for the few closest to the money printer. And I mean, we're feeling that. Everybody feels the effects of this inflation. Look how expensive everything is. And it empowers a few, enriches a few, enslaves many. That's just what all this inflation stuff does. And he just did this bet to bring people's attention to it. So, hey, whatever. Who cares? I don't care if he just did it to get attention. Cool. Good. Have some attention, buddy. Our good old boy Gary Gensler. Oh, I just like this guy's face just like makes me mad. He looks like a body part. He just like his head just like looks like one. I think you can imagine what body part I'm speaking of. Anyways, Gary Gensler is hurting the little guys for Wall Street. Yes, he is. Just protecting no investor, just making it as difficult as possible for regular people to make money in the cryptocurrency market. And just protecting no one except for Wall Street. Yeah, it's so insane. America is one of the few major countries, says here, without a Bitcoin ETF. Several companies have tried to issue one. Nope, SEC can't approve it because they're just whiny little stubborn children. They've, what's it say here? The only entities they are bad for are the legacy banks. Yeah. They've labeled stablecoins as securities, and stablecoins, they're saying, are bad for banks. Why would the SEC do that? To protect banks. Argue that public companies, the custody, should treat them on the balance sheet. Yeah, and then they make it really difficult for crypto companies to custody cryptocurrencies for people. It's just so obvious that Gary Gensler is a Wall Street. He's just a little. So many things I could say. I'm not even gonna say anything because this is a G-rated channel. Welcome to Saved by the Code. It's rated G. All right, I'm gonna hurry it up here because I am going too slow. All right, our friends over at HSBC Hong Kong, one of the most corrupt banks on the planet. I actually have a story right here. I mean, it says HSBC Hong Kong launched the support for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Everyone wants that ETF. But then I've looked up a story here. HSBC has moved vast sums of dirty money after paying record laundering fine. Yeah, they like moved billions of dollars for the Mexican and Sinaloa cartels, knowingly moved money that was used for drugs. It had helped dirty money flow through its branches around the world, including at least 881 million controlled by the notorious Sinaloa cartel. This is just what banks do. Like they are, but then they just pay massive fine. And they're just like, oh, whoops. They had to pay a $1.92 billion fine. That was their settlement instead of getting criminally charged. That's just how banks work. They commit criminal activities, they pay a fine, and they're allowed to keep going. It's okay. It's okay, because it's a bank. But you do anything wrong, you don't pay your $100 credit card bill. Whoa, you better look out. But HSBC can launder millions. That's okay. It's fine. So yeah, one of the largest criminal organizations on the planet is launching support for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, HSBC. Just riddled with criminal activity. But in the eyes of many people, they see legitimate, just wonderful goodness for whatever reason. This legitimizes Bitcoin in the eyes of many people. So, yeah, good old HSBC launching support for a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. So, I mean, this is like, it's happening everywhere. Everyone wants the ETF. This is legitimizing. Crypto is a legitimate asset class in the eyes of many people, and which, like I've said, I think is the final barrier as to why they're hesitant to even buy crypto. Next story here, TeraWulf. This is that Bitcoin miner I was talking about that uses nuclear power. Releases a report on how low their energy costs are. They are the most profitable Bitcoin miner. And they use nuclear energy. And they get their electricity cost is just the lowest. And yeah, I was showing that chart at the beginning. Their margin is 63% per Bitcoin. Crazy. So they're the number one in the industry, TeraWulf. And they are looking to add an extra 8,000 rigs to increase its capacity and currently accommodates 16,000 miners. They want to expand 300 megawatts. Currently, they're doing 50 megawatts of power. All powered by nuclear energy, carbon-free. But, you know, New York Times articles won't tell you that. Yeah. Beautiful. You go, TeraWulf. Getting low cost energy for Bitcoin mining. And this guy, Peter Schiff, there's no lower quality than crypto. He hates Bitcoin. Peter Schiff bashes Bitcoin again, says recent party will soon end. He just won't give up. This guy hates Bitcoin so much. He's a gold advocate. He loves gold. He showers in it. He eats it. He loves gold. He just refuses to say anything good about Bitcoin. He hates it. And he's just delusional. He's just so delusional. Like, I mean, I just don't understand how you can just continuously do this. And he's a massive gold advocate, and his whole business was built on gold. And I don't hate gold. I think it's not as good as Bitcoin, but it's not bad. I don't hate it, you know. It says here about a tweet by Peter Schiff, until recently, the rally in highly speculative assets excluded Bitcoin. Now that Bitcoin has finally joined the party, perhaps it's a sign that the party will soon end. Usually rallies end when the lowest quality stuff finally participates. Oh, man. It's so ridiculous. Like, he just will not admit that Bitcoin has any use, any good use, anything. He thinks it's literally going to zero. I just don't understand how you can possibly say that a decentralized ledger like Bitcoin is useless. I mean, you're literally saying that ledgers are useless when our lives depend on ledgers. Like, without ledgers, humans would be a complete and total mess. We wouldn't be able to do anything. And having a decentralized ledger that no one controls, massively valuable. Massive. That in and of itself is incredible. And also, along with the problem that Bitcoin solved, the Byzantine generals problem, which was a problem in computer science that was not solvable until Bitcoin came along and solved it elegantly. That in and of itself. You want me to say that? Amazing. Go home, Peter Schiff. You're drunk. All right, one more story for you here. We got the Winklevoss twins, Tyler and Cameron. They are the owners of the Gemini exchange. It's a pretty big exchange in the US. They say that the SEC's anti-crypto stance, it does not feel like America, it feels like Venezuela. Yeah, it does. This feels like a third world country. I mean, this is the clown world. So it's different from the first world, third world. It is the clown world. Quote, they say here, In addition, the Winklevoss criticized the regulation by enforcement approach of the SEC. They stated they won't tell you what you need to do to comply. They won't tell you these are the roads, they are paved, there's a speed limit. There isn't that path for people who want to comply. Yeah, it's crazy. They literally don't tell you what you need to do. You try to comply, and they're just like, no guideline, and then they just come and sue you. Like, that's like communism, socialism. Like, it's so bad. Like, U.S. is just, in so many different ways, has just changed for the worse. So yeah, I mean, just the SEC just cannot get it together, and they need to go away. The only thing that U.S. regulators seem to agree on is that Bitcoin is a commodity, but they won't agree on any other crypto. Yeah, it's so pathetic. The CFTC and the SEC can't even agree upon what's a security and what's a commodity. It's such a joke. But hey, at least they're not saying Bitcoin's a security. I'll take that. I will take that. All right, time for the Babylon Bee segment. The greatest source of truth in the entire world. The Babylon Bee. All right. Oh. Trump has been indicted in New York for eating pizza cooked in a wood-burning oven. Wow. Jerk in front of you going the speed limit. That is so me. I get so mad when people go speed limits. I've chilled out in recent times, but it is so annoying when someone goes exactly the speed limit and like will not go 1 mile an hour above. They hit their brakes. They're just like, come on. Like, it's just ridiculous. They literally, in their heads, are like, that's the limit. Can't go above it. No, you can go above the speed limit. Teenagers moved to Florida to escape New York's pizza oven ban. Is that what's going on or something? Is there like a ban? Because there's all this pizza stuff on Babylon Bee. What is going on? Wait. New York pizza oven. Let's see what it says. What's going on here? Oh gosh. New regulation seeks to reduce carbon emissions from pizza ovens in New York City. Oh my god. You have to be kidding me. New York City coming for pizza. Coal, wood, oven pizzerias must slice carbon emissions by 75%. That is just so unreal. No wonder why, yeah. On the Babylon Bee, they just got all this pizza stuff going on. New York City mandates all pizza must be cooked under a bathroom hand dryer. That place is such a freaking joke. New York City is just, I'm nauseous. Trump indicted in New York for eating pizza cooked in wood-burning oven. Teenage Mutant Turtles moved to Florida to escape New York pizza oven ban. Yeah, that's crazy. That's literally all that's all over Babylon Bee right now. Wow. Can't have pizza ovens now. Oh my gosh. To reduce carbon emissions, go and just... This really makes me want pizza right now. From a wood oven. But that is just so nauseating. Ugh. Alright, folks. That does it for this episode. Yeah, well, no more good pizza in New York City. Goodbye. That does it. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, I bid you farewell on the cryptocurrency journey.